TinkerCAD tips. We're talking about 3D printed chainmail or flexible fabrics. In the prior tutorial, I showed you the H-block. What I did in this one was to simplify the construction of the individual link itself by removing the cross members here. There used to be one across the top and another across the bottom, so I thought I would simplify it. Again, we have the same sort of a setup where there's a gap as each link goes over and under the other link. There's a small gap in between. And just as before, we'll use a wave duplication method. For instance, clicking on this, holding the shift and using the cursor keys and such, by changing the snap grid down here, I can move these into position. Let's make another copy of that. Move that one down this way so we can look to make sure that we're getting the spacing correct. Move this one in this direction. Move this one in this direction. Make sure nothing's touching each other. Now what I can do is grab all three of those, duplicate that, shift nudge it over, make sure the spacing is right, and without deselecting, never deselect the thing that you're trying to duplicate. I'll zoom out here and just begin hitting Control D. That will start one row, and then we can simply grab that whole section, duplicate it, shift nudge it down. We'll zoom in here to get our spacing correct. Right about there. Zoom out, and again, without deselecting, start hitting Control D. And as you see, we could make these sheets as large or small as we wanted. It could then also be resized. So let me show you what this looks like now after I printed it. I printed one in a smaller scale, and I printed one where I sized everything up. All right, here we have that design printed up. This is that simple link without the cross member. These are printed fairly small, but I have quite a bit of tolerance between each of the links. A lot of gap. You can see this is extremely flexible. It printed fairly well. The only odd thing is from time to time these links at the end like to twist over. But super, super flexible, simple design. It was easy to print. Here's the same design. This was printed larger. It was scaled up. And I also decreased the amount of tolerance between each of the pieces. So there is some flexibility, not as much as in this piece, but also printed very clean. Not as much of a problem with the edge ones rolling over. I can see this being very useful. Pretty solid, but it's got some give to it. As always, like, follow, and share. If you have any comments, drop them in the comments. And I will see you in the next one. We'll talk more about these 3D printed chainmail or flexible fabrics. I have quite a few of them to go over here.